Let's now turn to France, where Emmanuel Macron has won France's presidential election. He ran against the far-right candidate Marine Le Pen and managed to get re-elected with over 58% votes. It's an outright victory, and it is history. Why do I say that? Because one, no French president has managed to be re-elected since 20 years. And two, because Macron's 17-point margin against Le Pen is noteworthy. So what worked in Macron's favor? Perhaps his handling of the Wuhan virus and successfully bringing the French economy back on track after the numerous waves. In the run-up to the election, Macron promised stability, and he is calling his victory a mandate for a quote-unquote more independent France and a stronger Europe.
Today you have chosen a humanist project, ambitious for the independence of our country, for our Europe, a republican project in its values, a social and ecological project, a project based on work and its creation, a project of liberation from our cultural, academic and entrepreneurial forces. This new era will not be the continuity of the 5 years before, but the collective invention of a revised method for 5 better years at the service of our country, of our youth.
Au service de notre pays.
Macron is promising to be a president for all. So what will the next 5 years look like for France? What will be the biggest challenges? And what does Macron's victory mean for India? Let's discuss over the next few minutes. Let's start with the road ahead first. Above all, it will be a continuity of the last 5 years. Come June, France will vote in the parliamentary election. Experts expect Macron's party to win. Experts also predict no major policy change under Macron 2.0. Now, is this a good thing or bad? The election results hint at a divided France. In 2017, just about 37% of the voters had voted for the far right or the far left. This year, that number has climbed to 43.97%, meaning nearly 44% of France does not agree with Macron's policies. There is a long list of issues they want addressed, be it rising cost of living or inflation, law and order or immigration. How will Macron address them all? Of course, there will be some minor policy changes. For example, Macron wants to make social benefits more accessible. He wants to reform the pension system, make workers work longer as well. Macron has also promised big on climate, be it a greener farming industry, or 6 new generation nuclear power plants. Will all of this be enough to tackle the possibility of a Yellow West 2.0 fueled by the growing social divide? Avoiding one is Macron's biggest challenge. The next question, what will his presidency mean for Europe? Definitely good news. It's a critical moment for Europe. Ukraine is at war. The continent is in the midst of a crisis not seen since the Second World War. And what's worse, Germany's Angela Merkel is no longer in office. And Britain has exited the bloc, leaving France to take on the role of a de facto leader. Macron wore the robes of the role when he went to the Kremlin in February to try and stop the war with Ukraine. He failed. But his electoral victory had given the European Union more than enough reasons to rejoice. Macron, you see, is a dedicated European. He wants to build a stronger bloc, one with greater cooperation between the members. He wants to ensure Europe's strategic autonomy. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz called Macron's victory a vote of confidence in Europe. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson congratulated Macron, calling France, quote-unquote, one of our closest and most important allies. So that was Europe. What does Macron's second term mean for India? A deepening India-France strategic partnership, as put by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India and France share a close political and defense partnership. The two countries have vowed to act jointly in the Indo-Pacific. France is also expected to play a key role in helping India manufacture air-independent propulsion submarines. Prime Minister Modi will soon be traveling to Europe. He will be meeting Macron and Scholz. Macron is someone that Prime Minister Modi calls a friend. And like they say, it's never a bad idea to have a friend in office. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.